Why am I so pathetic as to bear the burden of a woman who didn't care? To stare behind the curtain and see what evils make up the face of what once provided love and comfort, undeniable yet unforeseeably cold? Is it not obvious that we all suffered a great amount? And is it so hard to believe that this was all in vain? I place myself kneeling in a cathedral, built to serve not more but one made-up God, one incarnated in a holy juxtaposition of self-love and self-hatred. These spirits dance in the air above me, spinning and twirling and weaving blankets of insecurity to lie on top of me during the cold, lonely winter nights when you are not there. The words "I love you" leak out of my mouth as my heart retracts and my mind soon follows. Which girl is this? The one who broke my heart or my mind? It may be the third one this week or the first one this year. It's all the same to a calloused soul once bright and free. Now, however, unfairly incarcerated without the chance of parole. The words "I miss you" seem more fit for such a strange world. Words spoken to nobody in particular, but more to the feelings that every one of us knew was fleeting. Yet the impermanence never stopped us from falling for those tricks again. These words fall against closed ears, though. Even the ones who hear the clearest can only ever listen, but never understand. My name is Ash, and I would like to talk to you about letting go in relationships. That was a poem I wrote this past year. Whenever I reach out to people for help, it seems that all anybody has to offer are the things told to them by their parents and friends, and those people's parents and friends. It seems like cliches have gotten so much more stagnant recently. Like, of course, time will help, but that doesn't mean saying it is helpful. And the idea of rebound sex sometimes is just a mix of repression and self-delusion. The truth about rebound sex is that most of what you're doing is just distracting yourself. Distracting your pain with pleasure and resentment and thrill. You're liberating yourself sexually, but sex wasn't what got you in this painful place in the first place, was it? Wasn't it love? More specifically, wasn't it the sudden absence of it? Of course, you both probably knew it was going to happen eventually, but it was inconceivable that it could have happened so soon. You two were practically one, and now you aren't even one. All of those little parts of yourself and the life that you gave away, your hobbies, the way you acted, the way you thought, lost in the ecstasy of the honeymoon period. And now you gaze down at your figure, completely changed from the person who once stood at that very frame. Time passed, but amongst all the chaos, you never noticed the new person who looked back in that mirror. I propose that there's a simple answer that can be broken into steps. Step 1. Let the grief out, not gonna lie. This step kinda sucks. Let the grief out, but never get confused with obsession. These thoughts need to be more about the way you feel. Let them reflect on the feelings of loneliness and abandonment, your self-doubt and your shame. Acknowledge that these thoughts and these feelings do go away if taken care of properly. If any thoughts of your ex enter your mind, calmly and gently cast them away. If they become too hard to handle, distract yourself until they go away. But make sure to return to letting yourself grieve. The longer you grieve, the sooner you'll get better. The goal isn't to ignore it until it goes away, because trust me, it never does. Working with so many psychotherapists, you learn that it never does. Step 2, I think, is find yourself. You see, at the beginning of the relationship, you were one. But then you split, and now you're not. In the parallel timeline that you never ended up with that person, who would you have grown up to be? Would you have gotten that haircut you were thinking about, or would your tastes have matured? A key component of being one true self again and being completely independent from your ex is being your true self and finding that person physically. Step 3, what would you do? What would you do? What interested you when you were single? What things did you put off that you can finally pick back up on? Sorry, I have the hiccups. What interested you when you were single? What things did you put off that you can finally pick up on? Is there any hobby or TV show that interested your true self that you can return to? And then I think step 4 is just be single. Live your life for a little bit, but remember what it's like to be who you truly are. These could be the last amount of time that you'll ever be single, so hold on to these moments. Do what you always wanted to do and live life.